Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The Mets and the Dodgers shoo away their division rivals and say, don't care. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. Sitting next to me is Jake. We got Trev with 3 guitars over his shoulder, California. 4 guitars over his shoulder, my bad. And BBD producing away in the corner, wearing his We Got Ice floorball jersey. It is a big day, Trev. Team Baggage versus Team We Got Ice premieres tonight. Winner jettisons to the semifinal. Loser has to play quarterfinal game. That's later tonight on the Warehouse Games channel. Jake, how are you doing?
James, BBD, Trevor's mic stand. What is going on, everyone? Hope you had a nice steamy weekend. Holy Toledo. It was warm pretty much anywhere you were if you're listening to this show. Excited to go in, man. You mentioned the Metropolitans off the top, that crowd with deGrom and what they did to the Braves. That's impactful on this season. Our Yanks in a little bit of a dog day situation. And Monday up, best up, Trev. You know what I'm saying?
You know I love Monday eps because a little bit of that weekend energy bleeds into Monday. I don't think people realize that. Like, there is a little bit of Sunday vibe on a Monday morning if you really believe it to be true. I don't know what I just said, but I am back in California. It was a late night for me. I came back. Yes, my microphone stand was broken in half. Wow. So now I've fixed something that I think will work, but if my mic drops in the middle of the show, it's not because it's my fault. I'm going to blame my children. Sometimes that's okay. James, what's up with you, man?
I'm good. I'm a little, I was trying to tell myself it was mid-August. And then I checked the date today because we spent 4 days in the warehouse where time doesn't exist. And I was like, surely we're in the mids. We're not. It's only August 8th. That sucks.
Yeah.
So much August
I don't know
left.
if it sucks. August isn't that? Why does everyone get so mad at August?
I hate August. It's the worst. July 4th is fun, and you got a little bit of summer left, and then August is so hot and sticky and gross. I haven't even started daydreaming of fall yet. That's good news. But now I probably kickstarted that in my brain.
Yeah, you just did.
Some
Halloween.
teams showed up this weekend, though. In very fun ways.
Yes.
And I'm excited to talk about it. I have the NL covered. There's some good topics there. Jakey, he's got the AL.
Midfest this week, American League. Pick your shit up.
He says not that great there. And Trev's got the IL, which has some fun stuff as well. Good.
Why do you look like Howard Cosell today?
Jake, his hair, did you wash it extra or something? It's fluffier than usual.
I did the Jakey Fluffy look today. You got to mix it up.
Yeah.
Are you going to go interview Muhammad Ali later today? Like, what's going on? Jeff Passan.
Howard Cosell, a known sexual guy.
Yeah.
Jake Story.
Known hot boy, Howard Cosell.
Tom Verducci.
Does that just mean you think it looks like he has a toupee on?
His friend
yes.
is Tom Verducci, a friend of the pod, Trev. 3, 2, 1.
No.
Tom.
No, wait, hold on.
Hold on.
You're taking another. I'd like him to be. I just don't think he is.
Okay,
Tom
that's
the
fair.
Ducky.
Trev and him were in first class up in the sky, making love.
Yeah. No, he looked at me and was like, oh. That's why I texted you. I was like, have we said mean things about Tom Verducci on this show? I wasn't sure because he gave me kind of a weird look.
Jake called him Verducky once. I'm telling you.
Everyone
heard him.
Tweet at Tom Verducci and say the Talkin' Baseball guys love you.
I do. I do enjoy his stuff.
He's a storyteller.
Yeah. And, dude, let me tell you this. He looks great in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in an elevator with him once.
Yes.
That's nice.
4'2".
No.
Nah, that was us.
If you haven't heard of Roback, wow. It's time you try them out. You might know him, our guy Nicky Cass. He's a big Rhoback guy. The best fit, the best feel. First, Rhoback's performance polos are hands down. That was close. The best polos out there. Not only do they have the coolest designs, breathable, moisture-wicking, nothing beats a Saturday afternoon game in the bleachers rocking a polo. Oh, Trev, in the bleachers, maybe a little boozy lemonade in your Rhoback. On the berm, too hot. Rhoback has made their way into bottoms and everyday shorts. Perfect for a day of activity or a night on the town. The definition of versatile. What was that? First base, third base, shortstop, left field, right field for Trev. Oops. With shorts dropping this week, go to Rhoback.com and use code Talkin. 20% off your first order. That's spelled Rhoback, RHOBACK.com for 20% off all performance polos, Q-zips, tees, and hoodies with code Talkin. Thanks, Rhoback.
I like Rhoback a lot. I bought a couple of their shirts after they sent me that one black one that I wore in the floorball documentary. Look good in it.
Yes.
I bought a couple more. They're comfy.
Nice fit. They look good. Yeah, I agree.
Not to throw Trev's whole game off, Dua Lipa just named an honorary ambassador of Kosovo.
Of where?
Kosovo.
Who's she replacing?
I think she's just getting the nod. It's kind of like a 27th man on a doubleheader.
They don't have only one honorary ambassador.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you can just pump those.
She
numbers.
deserves everything she gets.
Let's do the NL. You guys ready to hear about it?
Hit it, kick it.
The Braves, they're coming for the Mets. They come. They lose game 1. They win game 2. Then the Mets win the next 3. They win the doubleheader. deGrom pitches. Scherzer pitches. Peterson pitches. They all go off. Strider says some fun stuff at the end, making excuses. Home runs. Good pitching. Statement series by the Mets. They say, Acuna did his first home run in a while. I think Braves fans are hoping that leads into more. And then a similar story down in L.A., Jake. The Padres go to Los Angeles to face the Dodgers, and they get absolutely shut down by Gonsolin, Heaney, and Anderson. Shut down. They outscore them like 27-4 or something like that. They win 8-1, 8-3, 4-0. Oh no, Padres. Phillies, they play the Nationals. Phillies are in a race. Nationals are not. Phillies need to win. It's a 4-game set. 4-game sweeps are hard to come by. The Phillies win all 4. I didn't count the amount of home runs they hit, but I wanted to. It was something I told myself to do. 14. I just found it. They hit 14 home runs, the Philadelphia Phillies, by like 10 different players, I think it felt like while I was watching. It was nuts. Good for the Phillies. They jumped the standings of the wild card a little bit, and they get contributions from some of their new guys. Meanwhile, the Brewers win game 1 against the Reds, and that's good. Get back in the roll of things. They lose game 2. They lose game 3 in extras. A brutal error by Brasso. He's not on the Red Sox yet, but will be soon. And the Reds take 2 out of 3 from the Brew Crew. That's not ideal. The Marlins and the Cubs play 3 games. Cubs win game 1. Cubs win game 2. Marlins win game 3. I don't got much from that series. Rockies and D-backs. Jake and Kelsey battling it out. The D-backs win the bread games. Rockies win the middle game. Bumgarner, not a great start. Marquez, he has a nice start. Kelly and Senzatella have a nice little battle in the second game. And then Davies with 5 shutout innings in game 3 to help the D-backs get the win. And there you go. That's the National League. Not that much going on. I mean, some really big, heavy hitters at the top of it.
Big eye,
but we are going to try and stay as the home stretch comes here of these episodes. We're attempting to stay a little more dialed and focused on the big things. So I've got the 2 biggest talking points from the NL for you guys, and it's the Mets and the Dodgers statement wins. I can let you guys choose where you want to start. I can tell you the stuff that I find interesting. I'm going to bring up the standings as soon as I can. I forgot to prep those. But the Mets and the Dodgers have advanced.
It's a duo of DGAFs. You know what I mean?
Say that again.
Dodgers, a duo of DGAFs don't give a you know what. Dodgers don't give a you know what about all of the Padres' moves. Mets don't care about a surging Braves team. They got deGrom back. They don't care about shit.
Yeah.
The Mets don't care about anything.
No. And Buck's having so much fun. Jake, you want to start with the Mets or the Dodgers? The Mets are now 6.5 up on the Braves. They were within a game. The Braves were within a game, and Young Thick said, we're coming for you. And now it's back down to 6.5. The Dodgers are 15.5 up in the division. After that, in the wild card, the Padres are still there. They're the 3rd seed right now. And Atlanta is the 1st seed. So they're not, they didn't these losses didn't send them out of the playoffs, obviously. But especially for the Braves, they're trying to catch the Mets.
They were trying to catch the Mets. This was a traumatic, more impactful than the Dodgers series. I mean, even if San Diego brought the noise this weekend, the division has been over. It's over. The Dodgers have the best record in baseball easily. Big Dodgers up for me. Teaser. The Mets, they take 4 out of 5 against the Braves. The Braves, they had their slow start, and then they started coming, and they're the Braves. And here's Jakey organizations. I love good organizations. The Braves need more respect, man. They've been a really good franchise for 20 years. The Mets, they've had kind of an opposite history of that. More gaffes than de-gaffes, as Trevor might say. The Mets put it on them. If this series had gone the other way and the Braves took 4 out of 5, we'd be like, oh, it's happening. The Braves are here. No, the Mets fend them off again. The Mets have fended off the Braves without deGrom, without Scherzer. Both of those guys are now throwing the pill for them. We should have already had our Mets oh shit moment this season. Double S-bombs for me today. And we have not. Buck deserves a ton of the credit. Their pitching staff deserves a ton of the credit. And, I know we got the pleasure of seeing Peter Moylan, Braves analyst this weekend. He says that they're a flawed team right now. And that it's a 6.5 game lead. 6.5. They are closer to the Phillies than the Mets right now. Massive for the Mets. And, I think it's the Mets division. I thought the Braves were going to come back and roll and go. The Mets kind of fully won me over with this 5-game set.
Still a lot of baseball to be played, but this, obviously it was a statement series. If you can get a statement series in August, this was it. You had the Braves pitcher, Spencer Strider, coming out and trying to find excuses. I talked about this a little bit with C. Rosie this morning. At first, I was like, I kind of like it because I want him to feel invincible, and I want him to feel like the only way they can beat him is by, a ball hitting the third base bag or, the umpire helping them get into hitters counts, because that's what he was alluding to. But the more and more I think about it, I'm like, hey, man, keep that to yourself. In your mind, you can think that stuff. And in the clubhouse around your other starting pitchers, you can say that stuff. But when you put it out there, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Now, coming back into, Citi Field, he's going to hear it. And you're just adding an extra layer, to an already difficult job of handling the Mets. You're adding another layer. So I'm assuming Charlie Morton or Max Fried, whoever, is going to sit down and talk to him about that. Because that's stuff that you keep in the clubhouse. Okay. Maybe he was fed some information about it saying hey, these guys have been, their BABIP is high and we're expecting it to regress a little bit, whatever it may be.
The actual
you just gotta just keep it to yourself.
The quotes that Strider said, asked him, he went 2.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. Not a good line. And he was asked about it, and he said, they seem to be having a lot of luck right now offensively. That's great. It's August. We'll see what things are like in October. I am fine with that. Not really, but if he pitches well the next time he faces them, then I look back on that quote and say, all right, kid's got moxie, whatever. Like, he's not afraid to talk dumb, and he backed it up. That one doesn't upset me. This other quote is such a loser quote, and like Strider, I'm not going to hold it against you forever, but like, you got to know this is just such a loser thing to say. I don't know. He asked why the Mets are so good at grinding out at bats. I don't know. It helps when they're getting calls and getting calls in 1-1 counts turn to 2-1 counts instead of 1-2 counts and stuff like that. Like, blaming the umpires is, I mean, anyone that plays like Little League, I mean, you just honestly, you can't do that. And then he goes, when your BABIP is 330, 340 as a team, it's tough to get quick innings and quick outs. Dropping the other team's team BABIP,
Yeah.
That's info you shouldn't even know that, yet alone have it committed to somewhat memory and then share it with the media like it's on your mind. Like, they've been getting lucky all season. Their season team BABIP is this. So that's a tough one. The first one I like, and if he backs up both of them, that's cool, but I don't know. It's just kind of PR 101. Like, dude, don't say that.
Yeah. He got fed that information. There's no doubt. You know, he gets the packet. This is what's going on. The counts thing, I mean, it matters in a game. Obviously, like, there are statistics to back that up. You know, 1-0 to 2-0 or to 1-1 is completely different at bats on either side of the ball. So, like, I mean, there is truth to what he's saying, but Ashland came on our show too this morning, and basically, look, he's a rookie. Like, rookies shouldn't be saying this stuff, and that's what he'll get taught to from some of his veteran pitchers. And I agree with you, James. If he comes out and shuts him down the next time, I'll be like, oh, okay, maybe this guy just got that vinegar in him. But I don't love it.
Yeah, no.
I also don't hate it. I don't care, honestly.
It's the athlete mentality, like you said. I mean, even jumping to the locker room, this kid is, he's 23. He throws a $102. He's punching tickets like a prime Aroldis Chapman. This kid should think he's invincible. And he kind of gave quotes like that. They're sore loser stuff. And in October, he's either going to look really bad or really good. If they come out and they end up locking up with the Mets and he shoves and they win, he'll look like a folk hero. And he'll probably wear a shirt the start of the next series that says, Die BABIP Gods. But if you come out and lose to the Mets, I mean, there's going to be egg on a young man's face, but that's why being 23 is cool sometimes.
I liked the Mets in game one. We were watching the bar. Edwin Diaz comes out for the 2-inning save. And I was watching with Peter, and I was like, well, it's August. And, he's pitched a lot this year. And then then it was, it's the Braves, obviously. It's game one against the Braves. Let's get the game one win. And then Buck said he was on 5 days rest, so that's fine. He gets 3 saves in this series, Diaz does. He pitches a lot. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Mets were down 7 runs at one point, and they came back enough to make the Braves use their good relievers, and Jansen comes in. So that's, you get a team to, in a 5-game set, you get a team to use their closer in what should be a non-save game. That's still a mini win the rest of the way. It didn't come into play next 3 games, but I thought that was kind of nice. And this other note we have here, that with deGrom and Scherzer coming back, that Peterson has been told he may go to the bullpen in the postseason because he's awesome against lefties. I like that shit. You guys know I've been worried about the Mets bullpen come the postseason. And then I love when teams take an extra starter and go to the bullpen. So that was like, oh, yeah, I like the Mets a lot in the postseason.
That's your thing about the Mets bullpen has been 2-way guys, which he doesn't frame that way.
Well, I don't like their 1-way guys. I don't like Shreve or Joely.
There you go.
So and then he can go extra innings and he can get other guys, not going to use him as a one only guy. Yeah. So I'm into that.
Another move for the Braves, Ion Anderson gets optioned. He was a big part of that team last year. Kind of struggled. He's been struggling this year, obviously. And, the emergence of a few guys, Wright and Strider, is kind of, I guess he's the odd man out. If they put Peterson back in the pen, does he come back? Like, I don't.
Well, Anderson, he's been struggling, and yeah, that's you got to make some big boy decisions sometimes. I mean, he pitched massive playoff games for them. That's got to be a tough one. And I mean,
You
Talkin
got
baseball
Odo.
legend.
Yeah, you got Odo, Fried, Wright, Morton, Strider, and Peterson. That's for the Mets. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, those 5 guys. So I think you send him down, work on some stuff. Do you think we see this guy back up? Like, is he going to be part of the postseason plan for the Braves?
I don't know. I was talking with Peter deep dive last night. Like, the Braves bullpen on paper looks like video game stuff. He's crazy concerned about the Braves bullpen right now. I don't know how that compares across all teams across baseball. But, that's something on paper that us looking from the outside in, you'd be like, that doesn't bother me at all. Like, the Braves have depth back there. They just added Reisel.
Baseball!
I just don't know. I think it's summer's here, the heavy part of summer, where the Braves train going to keep rolling. And no, instead the Mets, like Mutombo, blocked the shot. And here's the best pitcher ever.
People in the chat are saying Ion Anderson will be back on Saturday to pitch one of the games of the doubleheader.
Good.
Well,
He's in that role now.
27th, man.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's do the Taco Bell noise. We're going to do a little noise whenever we need to keep the show moving. The Dodgers it's a bummer because the Padres made all the moves, and the Dodgers get Heaney off their injured list. And they're like, well, that's basically a trade for us. We're getting a pitcher back. I mean, the offensive numbers in this Dodgers-Padres series are quite fun if you're a Dodgers fan. They had 41 hits. The Padres had 21 hits. The Dodgers scored 25 runs. The Padres scored 7. Gonsolin, Heaney, and Anderson combined for 16.2 innings pitched, 0 earned runs against the Padres lineup with Soto and Bell.
That's such a middle finger to the Padres, or not even a middle finger, like such a big brother moment right there. And I don't expect it to always happen this way. I don't think the Dodgers are, so much better than the Padres. They're going to sweep them every time. But it couldn't have worked out any better for the Dodgers playing them at home after this. Like, you see Tatis getting warmed back up. He's playing rehab games. But, dude, you got a lineup full of dudes there, and you have essentially 3 guys who were at the beginning of the year were afterthoughts for the Dodgers. Heaney, Anderson, Gonsolin, and they're just shutting out the Padres with their new look lineup with the young Ted Williams smack dab in the middle of it. It's incredible, man. What they do is, I don't get it, man. I don't understand, but here we are.
And I mean,
Dodgers surging.
Afterthoughts is true. They're afterthoughts for every other organization. One of the first moves made this offseason, the Dodgers signed Andrew Heaney. And Yankee fans who were in a very tough spot with young Andrew after his performance in the Bronx were laughing. And now the dude has an ERA that starts with 0. Tyler Anderson, who I enjoyed last year. He was sneaking into a lot of really quality starts. He had the John Boy stat. Mm-hmm. He had a lot of 5 innings, 6 innings, low earned runs. He gave you a chance. Competitive starts. Now with the Dodgers, this guy is prime Kershaw. So I don't know, man. I know we've talked about coaching staffs a lot, and Trev, I know there's a little bit you were dabbling, maybe looking at joining, becoming a member of the Dodgers organization. I don't know, dude. I have no idea what's going on, because how could their coaching technology, information, and everything be that much better that they can hunt down the Heen dog and Tyler Anderson and they can do this?
It's pretty nuts. And the numbers I gave were wrong because I had my fan graphs up for Thursday through Sunday for the Mets and Braves.
Gotcha.
And then I just read the Dodgers off that. It's actually 33 hits to 12 and 20 to 4. I knew it was 4. And when I said 7, I was like, what? So, but anyway, that's what I was going to say, Jake. Like, you have the pitching right there, you have they traded for Clevenger, they traded for Manaea, they went out and they traded and they got Darvish. You know, these are all big moves that Padres fans are like heavy hitters going to get their guys. And it's Heaney and Anderson on the other side, 2 1-year, $8 million contracts, like at the Dodgers. And just one series. This isn't over the long haul, and I'm not saying that the signings are better than the other, but it is just kind of a big brother kicking the dick. Like, yeah.
That's Trev's specialty.
Well,
I do have a big brother. He never kicked me in the dick.
A lot of times he kicked you right in the penis.
A lot of the Dodgers' success, they'll tell you, comes from, the player development side and the fact that they have just more coaches. I think for every 2 or 3 players, they got a coach. So like there is specific hands-on stuff that helps because everyone has the data. Everyone has the numbers, but how do you apply it? How do you read? How do you interpret the numbers, and how do you give it to your players? It's like similar to, when you're a parent, you start to look around at school systems. Okay, well, how many teachers per kids do you have for this grade? If it's 1 teacher for 30 kids, it's not great. Like you need more hands-on approach, especially when you're going through this information. The data is there. It can be overwhelming for players. If you have the means to be able to break it down individually like that, I think that's when you find guys like Heaney, who everyone knew, we can talk about his spin rate and how do you incorporate it? How do you make that so it's a weapon for him? And Dodgers have done it 6 games started and he's got a point something.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. Max Muncy also opposite of me loves the month of August. In his 5-game start to August, he's just hitting the shit out of the ball, which is going to be huge for them if he can turn it around.
Yeah, his numbers will shock you if you look at him right now. These Dodgers are still them Dodgers. Like they have the best record in baseball easily.
About to be 700.
Yeah, they've been dominant. I think they're on like a 26-4 stretch in their last 30. And that's without Kershaw now with the back thing. That's without Walker Buehler. That's without Dustin May, Trine, and Canely. Like they have their fair share of injuries pitching-wise, but next guy up pitching for them is almost unfair. Their lineup is stacked. If you're the Padres, this sucks. Like you would have loved to win a series and maybe daydream. Like, could we nip at their heels a little bit? The division has been gone, and that's okay. Get Tatis back. Get whoever you want hot for the playoffs. Like, get clicking so when you get in a playoff series with their guys, that's when San Diego's going to have their chance. Like, the division's gone, and that's okay. Get in the playoffs, feel right, and be the scary video game team you have assembled.
Dude. I'm looking at the Dodgers' top 3 baseball reference WAR havers.
Sure.
Freddie Freeman, 4.5. Mookie Betts, 4.3. Trey Turner, 3.6. These guys weren't part of the organization 2 years ago. Like Mookie came over in 2020. Like they just got these guys. They just went out and fucking got these guys. And they aren't part of the player development. They were talking about how good it is, and they bring people up and they can replenish. But like, they also went out and got 3 of the best players in baseball and put them all on the same team within the last 2 years. It's crazy.
It's nuts. Tatis is rehabbing. Like he's playing in. I think they had him go to AA. Usually that's just location reasons. Batting leadoff to make sure he gets at bats. I don't think he has a hit yet, but don't worry about that. He could just be working on shit. But he is on his way, they say, mid-August, which I thought we were already in.
Yeah.
But we're not.
Tough.
So that's like usually how long is a minor league stint usually, Trev? Week and a half? I mean, he's been out a while, so it might be like a spring training 2-week situation. That's long.
It could be as short as 3 games. You ask the player, how many at-bats do you need? Typically, I would say it's a series in the minors, and then you come up. So whether that's 4 games, whether that's 5 games, I think they do a lot of 5-gamers now in the minor leagues.
Might be longer.
I think that's
no spring training. 10 months. So they
such
might
a
get
slow
bit
healer.
more.
He's such a slow healer, but
Yeah.
I think it's the right thing to do is to get more bats in the minor leagues. But you can't tell a player that because he just wants to be back up in the big leagues performing.
I think that's
especially
what they're going to do.
As soon as you have one good game in the minor leagues, you're like, I'm ready.
Yeah,
and that's not necessarily the case.
But they said mid-August-ish, which is a great Baumel, great mid-August-ish. So that means anything from the 10th to the 20th.
And you know what I was going to bring up, Trev's guy Baumel, because how about it? You just got swept by the Dodgers. Tatis is back soon. You got Juan Soto. Look at what he's working with now. This is Baumel season, man. Get the boys going.
Soto looks better in a Padres uniform than Nats uniform. Okay. That's just to let you know. I saw him getting interviewed when he's on the field, and I was like, he wears that well. Some people wear that Padres uniform awful. Who was that reliever? It was a big reliever, a big white guy. He just looks... No, it was recent. It was like a year ago. He looked so out of place in it.
Damn.
I can't remember.
For people that don't know, we're joking about Tatis being a slow healer. They said that, essentially. He wasn't healing on the timeline they thought he would.
We're mocking them.
We're mocking. I thought I had something else to say. Oh, yeah, because you brought up the uniform. I saw a picture of Luke Voit in the Nats uniform. He's trying to be all swagged out with the headband and the open shirt. Doesn't play.
Wow.
It doesn't play with the navy and red like that.
That's what he's always done.
Some kind of special to pull that off.
Does he just have to be him, Because that's how he's always worn it.
I know, but it just doesn't look that good.
But if he showed up there and he was fully buttoned, I think we'd be like, damn, his spirit is broken.
Okay. Do you, Luke Voit? I'm just saying, like, it doesn't look as good as it did in the Yankees or Padres.
Domingo Germán does it on the mound. Drives me fucking nuts. I want him off.
Josh Donaldson has way too many chains on right now. What is going on with that, dude?
It freaks me out once a series.
I'm like, what? Like, you're going to hit yourself in the face.
He has a swag level, or his accessories are a swag level of like an MLB creative player that you just don't expect. Now he's got like the full gray. It feels a little off. Right before I'm about to hate it, I'm like, you know what? I like it. Go Donaldson. Be you, man.
Once you win an MVP, you do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I know it.
You know it.
Jake knows it.
What's you got, kiddo?
That's all. Let's do the IL.
Not doing any other. Oh, okay.
Those are the two topics.
Oh.
Philly swept.
Well, that's tied in. We said we're going to tie that into.
Oh, we're going to do that later.
Yeah,
That's
we're
right.
going to do that tied into after the IL.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Okay, wait for your team. It's coming.
Phillies deserve to be talked about. We're wrapping it into the whole conversation of wild card central.
Yes.
After the IL, because them
So no Rockies D-backs. Gerald Perdomo. Geraldo.
You got anything?
He's a stud.
Stud.
Hopefully.
The Jake Storiale Bowl.
Hopefully. Yeah, me and Kelsey beefing.
Let's hit the AL.
Waiting.
There he is.
Oh, there's an ad.
In the American League, it's a mid-fest, and I hate that word, but the Rays, they're actually more on my radar lately. They take 3 out of 4, but it's from the lowly, sad Tigers. Randy Rosarena said, everyone's happy. Awesome, dude. That is huge news. Rays draw a franchise record 13 walks, most by any team since the Yankees against the Stros last July. I'm starting to drink some Rays Kool-Aid. I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. Kluber pitch. They have a little bit of a rotation now. Again, not the names you know, but the Rays are actually pitching a little bit, and they're getting guys back. They take 3 out of 4. Astros and Guardians. They split 4. It's a 4-game split fest in the American League. Astros won the first 2. Verlander reaches his 130 innings pitch clause early August, we just found out, as he shut them down in the first game. Guard Dogs come back. They win the final 2 games. How about you? Saw Chris Rose this weekend. He likes his Guardians. Their average age is younger than every AAA team. The Guard Dogs. Stop calling them the Guard Dogs, dude. Nobody likes that. They split 2. Again, Come on, guys. I need a little more something to chew on, so I'll go to Minnesota. They're hosting the Blue Jays. All right, couple playoff teams. They split 4. We got a couple extra inning ones. You know I love Manoah, Gossman, Vladdy broke open the first game. But yeah, we end up splitting 4, like making out with your sister again. Mariners. Okay, we like them, Jim, right? They've been playing a good brand of baseball.
Out on them for the next 3 days.
They added Luis Castillo. They split 4 with the Angels, so you basically lost that series. Is that what you want to hear? Sandoval had a good bounce-back start for the Halos. Happy for him. George Kirby doing some fun things. Kirby rock hard for the Mariners, but they split 4, so I don't really care. White Sox and the Rangers, they split 4. Come on, guys, swing my emotions. Cueto tosses a complete game loss. It's kind of funny that he's still doing it for them in that fashion. White Sox haven't lost a series in over a month, but they have so many splits that it doesn't really matter. My effect with the White Sox still stinks right now. Royals, they are your other series winner from the AL this week. They took 3 out of 4 from the Red Sox. The Red Sox can continue their death march. Hosmer, Red Sox debut. How about that? First time him making a debut in a long time. Royals, Padres. Prado, he hits a walk-off homer. That was pretty cool. He had a Little League World Series homer. They put those reactions side by side. Little League World Series is starting to go. Good advertising by Prado. Royals take 3 out of 4. That's kind of what happened in the American League. MJ Melendez. That kid can hit. He's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Was a mid-fest, huh?
Oh,
I tried telling you guys.
We gotta stop with that word.
I don't like that
We've
word.
killed it.
We left it in
If
Cali.
I start saying something, it sucks.
I left it in Cali. You got some standings,
right.
Timbuktu?
The standings. You've got just wild cards. Should we do? Because like
Updates.
everything else is locked up. Minnesota kind of is. Toronto
Within 10.
has a 2-game lead in the wild card. Tampa and Seattle are tied for second place, which means that they have the next 2 spots. Baltimore and Cleveland, 2 games back. I think that's like the same thing it was last time I did it on Friday. Yeah. Cleveland's a game out of Minnesota. White Sox are 2 games out of Minnesota. White Sox are 55 and 53, so they're above 500 now. Good for them. I don't know. They go 9 and 7 since the All-Star break. The White Sox.
Hot. Better than 7 and 9. I can't talk about my White Sox right now. I'd like to have a little conversation about the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays, who have casually stayed in the playoff race all season. They've had a ton of injuries. Their lineup was decimated. They made a couple moves at the deadline. Peralta, Jose Siri. Peralta, just a solid MLB guy as you're going to find. Jose Siri, a little bit of a wild card. I think a Manny Margot-esque, like has all the skills. Sometimes the stat page doesn't translate. Brandon Lau is back for them, and he's been a great power hitter in the game for a while. Whatever pitching they get back, the Rays starting pitching, they have the 3rd best starting pitcher ERA in baseball. Their bullpen is 7th. That Rays bullpen is always around, and they're getting help. My guy Pete Fairbanks is back. The Rays have really not been a discussion in this season for a while. I think as they get a couple more dudes healthy and they win a couple more series and we get rumors of Glasnow throwing 99 again, I really want to see what the Rays look like by the end of September, because I think you could have a totally different crew and a much better team than the Rays have had all year.
Does that starters ERA include openers? It's got to, right? Because that's a
I'd
game
assume
started.
so.
Interesting. We have been talking about the Rays, but we talk about them in the same light every single time. It's like we just expect them to be there. It doesn't matter who is on their roster. Or they just put them in the right places. I guess that's what's happening now. They had to make some moves. Will they score 7 runs in the 9th inning with 2 outs or something like that? Score 7 in the 9th, all with 2 outs. First 2 runs scored on walks, then allows 2-run single and a Rosarena's 2-run double. That's getting raised.
You got raised.
That's how we usually talk about them. Rays going Ray. That's a prime example of it right there.
Starter ERA from what period were you talking about? I want to see if it's just openers or how many.
Season.
On the season? Yeah, I wonder their average innings. Because Yarby's still getting an opener whenever they face a lineup with righties at the top. They open for him. Like he pitched in this series, but I believe he came in the second.
Yarbs.
And went 4 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Interesting. I want to see him again. Have the Yankees still only played the Rays once all year?
I think once in each place, 2 weeks
twice
or next week.
And they played them in like 1 week though. So like I haven't
we played
watched
them
a
and
ton.
then played the next week. Yankees
I
host
tuned
the
into
Rays next week.
I tuned in some of the Red Sox games when they were playing. Yeah, I got to watch. And then the team is always changing. But if they get some of those big on the IL,
Harold Ramirez was really breaking out for them this year. He was 329 batting average and 825 OPS. He's on the 10-day. And then Wander Franco, who's had just kind of injuries all year. You know, I don't know his timing and how it would line up, but like, let's not forget how special he was. Remember against the Red Sox in the playoffs last year. And then they have a ton of pitchers injured, and I'm not close enough to Rays baseball to know who's really on a track back or not. So if you're a Rays fan, I mean, sound off in the comments.
Wander a month ago was put on a 5 to 8 week schedule. So he's either a month away or he's a week away.
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of healer he is. If he's fast, a week. If he's Tatis level, a month.
Their starters are averaging 4 2/3 innings, which is probably around average.
Is that without openers? I'm so confused.
Yeah,
it's so hard to talk about starting
that's
pitching.
no bulk guy. It's just like if it's an opener, they get 2 innings or 1 inning that day.
That counts as the starter.
Yeah, yes, because I'm just using Fangraph's starting pitching, so
Right.
That's how it has to be. It'd be very weird if because they're just an algorithm. They're just a computer.
Whoa.
I find that it's hard to talk
108
about
games, 501 innings. I mean, I can do like
2 guys you need to know on the
all
Rays.
teams and see if it's different.
Jeffrey Springs, who has 14 starts for them this year. He has a 2.5 ERA. Drew Rasmussen, who's a part of that Willie Adames. He's got a 2.96 in 19 starts. Like, the Rays have a little bit of a playoff formula forming, and they're a team that has a lot of playoff experience in recent years. I don't know. You guys know I was tough on the Rays when they traded Meadows to start the years. I haven't been afraid of them. It kind of has worked out well. And now I'm starting to see things line up where this September's Rays team can be a lot different than the past 3 months of Rays baseball.
They can, yeah. What do you still feel the same way about the White Sox because they're only 2 games back? Like that they can find a lane and.
I mean, they've been as obnoxious as they can be. It's almost the opposite. Like the Rays have just been in the playoff race, and we've said, "Oh, good." Like the White Sox have pure underachieved.
No, I'm not comparing to them. I'm just wondering where you're at with the White Sox at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they're the most talented team in that division by far. They haven't lost a series in a month.
Houston starting pitchers average 5.8 innings pitched a game.
It's pretty good.
They have the most innings pitched by starters in the league. The Rays have the least.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
By design.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be fun. Honestly, and we'll get done with the Rays talk after this, but it's got to be fun to be part of that organization and just like you're expected to think about the game differently. Where can we figure some things out to give us some advantages? I think that's got to be just so fun to dissect the game and then put it back together the way that you want. I think it's so cool. I don't want every team to do it, James. You've mentioned that before. But like having them be that team, it's fun.
If you're a fan of management and front office, so that's your team. Like the gameplay and the gamesmanship and roster construction.
But it's but there's also like culture there too, like players' culture and like what they expect out of you. I don't know if they can keep that going forever because it is kind of like a KK Longo thing. KK has carried the torch. I'm sure he's tried to pass it off to somebody else, but there's just something about being there that instills confidence in you as a player too.
Randy said it. They're having fun. They're content. Yeah. They're happy.
Everyone's feeling good.
Yeah. What was he asked? How you guys feeling?
It wasn't even an interview.
Go Twins, go.
Just talking about it.
Yeah, the Tigers were dead. Go Twins, go. Yeah, I mean, they split with the Blue Jays at home. That's a go Twins, go out of you, Trev.
They win a walk-off. They win in extras. They lose in extras. I mean, they have the blocking of the plate call.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff that happened.
Freaks out.
Trev.
We had a lot of ejections. Boone ejection, Kapler ejection, Cora ejection, Rocco ejection. There's a lot of heated managers.
Rocco and Kapler, Trev. Those are normally your calm, composed guys.
Well, Cap he's got that, like, he's got something inside there. He tries to hide that a lot, but it's there. Rocco's very, chill. But he had every right to go nuts, dude. I guess we'll start with that, but I'm sure everyone saw the play. If you haven't seen it, Whit Merrifield trying to tag up on a ball to left field. Tim Beckham, who's playing the outfield now, who actually had the walk-off ground ball to third base. It's always an awkward celebration when you hit a ground ball to third base. It's an error, whatever. He throws a dart to Sanchez, gets Merrifield out by 10 feet. Sanchez leaves him clearly in open lane, but Merrifield said after the game, I know the rule. I know if I slide into him, there's a chance that they can go to New York and overturn it. And sure as shit, they did. They called him out on the field and then went to the replay. And Jordan Baker, I got to say his name because we don't want him to be a nameless, faceless dude. Jordan Baker was in New York in the replay booth and decided, I guess, Sanchez moved I without the ball. Is that what I think that's the
Baker was
determination.
In the room? They named the It's like an actual. Yes. It's not like a.
No. It's umpire crews go. Like your umpire crew goes to New York. That's part of your rotation.
Didn't realize that. That's such.
Yeah, it's not just one guy there.
6'8" Jordan Baker just sitting in a chair, miserable.
Yes.
It's terrible.
And there's a lot of screens. Like they got to go.
Yeah,
they're not watching one particular game.
I spent all morning with it because I made the breakdown. I recorded the audio. I just need to finish editing it up. I mean, it's so silly. Gary looks down and puts his foot on the left side of the plate and sets up there to give him the lane when he doesn't have the ball. If the throw moves him towards the plate, he is allowed to move to catch the throw. He takes one step left, catches the ball right in front of his face, doesn't take that step until the ball is on its way, catches the ball in front of his face. So he moved to catch the ball. And then once he has the ball in his glove, blocks the plate because you're allowed to block the plate once the ball's in your glove. I have no idea how they overturned it. Not even like, they called it out and then they confirm it. That's one thing, which is bullshit already. But to overturn that, Rocco went off. And he fucking funny because those umps are like, dude, like we called him out. It wasn't us.
I said that and he
Al
looks Porter having to deliver the news.
He Rocco looks towards the heavens and goes, you can fuck off and you can fuck off at the press box. It's like Jordan Baker's not there, Rocco. He just looked easterly. Fuck off.
To the east.
Yeah.
Rocco's a guy that kind of always knows where the East is, too, so I think that worked out for him. Jim, your and Trev's Twins, they've clinched the wild card tiebreakers over the Jays, Rays, Mariners, and Orioles. So that could be something. It could be the AL's Phillies, right?
Say that again?
So they have wild card tiebreakers over the Jays, Rays, Mariners, and Orioles.
Jays, Rays, Mariners, Orioles, yes.
And that's what you really liked about the Phillies, right? That they had
who has it?
The Twins.
Oh, yeah. That's a 3-team race.
The AL,
Yeah.
Don't think the Orioles are coming?
No.
Oh.
I mean, no. They traded away their relievers and stuff, and I'm mad at them about it still. I think the AL's as boring as it gets this year until the postseason.
You don't think this is going to change at all?
Wouldn't bet on it.
Okay.
We said this last year, and then we were right at this point.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't change at all?
Nope.
Let me shout out.
It got close. The Seattle and Toronto put on like a exciting finish, but in the end, it was who we thought would be there.
I'm going to shout out Nick Gordon a little bit. He's kind of come on as a player. He's played second base, shortstop, left field, center field, DH, and even got to pitch. But in April and March, he had a 621 OPS. In May, he had a 640 OPS. That's pointing in the right direction. In June, he had a 785 OPS. In July, a 793. And then in August, obviously small sample size, a 1.1. Yeah. Trending in the right direction. He's getting the confidence. Carlos Correa's walking around the clubhouse saying, that's a bad man right there. When you got the veterans in the clubhouse getting behind you like that, it feels good. And that's confidence. And like, a guy like Nick Gordon stepping up for him at this point of the season could be the difference of them winning that division or having to play in a wild card game.
Kind of a basic
definitely hosting it. I guess they're gonna have to play a 3-game series no matter what, right? Because they're not going to get ahead of the other division winners in wins-loss, right?
No, I don't think so.
Isn't that how it goes? The last place division winner has to play the last place wild card.
Yes.
Still in a 3-game set, right?
Yep. And they're home.
Okay.
So the Twins would be hosting the Mariners right now. I think the Mariners and Rays are tied. So it would be whoever, whatever tiebreaker those two teams have would go to Minnesota.
I think that's big.
Let's go to the IL.
Bong.
Trev, you got some series to talk about.
Oh, I got the IL, don't I? Hold on, let me get my shit together.
Dun.
We are going to start out in St. Louis. Two of the most storied franchises in baseball going at it, and the Cardinals sweep the Yankees. It goes 4-3 Cards, 1-0 Cards, and then 12-9 Cardinals. First time in franchise history they swept the Yankees, although they haven't played a lot of series against each other. Still fun to say that. DeYoung is coming up from the minors, doing great. He had some really cool quotes after the games. Montgomery comes over from the Yankees, beats his former team. Montas makes his first start as a Yankee, doesn't go well. Wainwright still throws a million pitches. Lots of stuff happens. We're going to be talking about this series a lot after I get done recapping it. But a statement series for the Cardinals. Nonetheless, they get the sweep against the Yankees. Pirates at Orioles. Orioles continue to do the damn thing. They'd won 5 straight before the Pirates won the last game. It went 1-0 Orioles, 6-3 Orioles, and then the Pirates won 8-1 in that last game. They're sticking around. They gave away some of their good players. They don't care. James is saying they're not going to make it, but dang, they're rallying right now, and I like it. Orioles take 2-3 from the Pirates. And then the last interleague series, Giants at A's, 2-gamer. Giants get the sweep. 7-3 Giants, 6-4 Giants. They threw Rodon and Webb against the A's. You better sweep the A's. They got the job done. And that is what happened in the International. I mean, if you're a betting man and you got Rodon and Webb going up against the A's, seems kind of like a no-brainer there, right?
You would think so. I would bet that.
We don't really have to talk about that one a lot.
The base
Rodon goes
series.
5 1/3, 1 earned run. Webb goes 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. Yaz hits some homers. They sweep.
We can wrap up the NL now. Cardinals sweep the Yankees. Montgomery pitches. And then tying it in, the Phillies, they swept the Nats in 4-game set. Meanwhile, the Brewers lost. So the Phillies and the Cardinals in the wild card and the division get some ground on the Brew Crew. They use their assets that they traded for to do so. Meanwhile, the Brewers lose another one in extras. without their relievers. I mean, it wasn't really a blown save or anything. It was an error by Brousseau, but still, I mean, it feels exactly how you wouldn't want it to go if you're the Brewers, and you would if you're Philly and St. Louis.
This was big. Cardinals, DeJong, I talked about some of the quotes he had. He was in the minor leagues for 2.5 months, and I'm just going to read the quote. Early in the year, I might have dreaded an opportunity like that, he said, but now I'm thankful for an opportunity like that after everything that's happened. And he's saying, like, early in the year, it was the idea of, oh no, here we go again when I was struggling, versus now me wanting those opportunities. It's like, what's the situation? We're down one run in the 8th and we got to score. I definitely want to be up. I can relate to this feeling. When you are struggling and you're feeling like almost like you don't belong in the big leagues, you shy away from big moments. But once you get going there, you want to be up in those moments, and that's what he's feeling now. That's a good thing for the Cardinals. He has the go-ahead 2-run double off of your guy Clay Holmes, who's been struggling with 2 outs in the 8th. Big moments like that. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. This series was like kind of closer than it was. Like 3 pretty decent games. I know they get the sweep, but are you feeling it? Are you feeling it as a Yankees fan? I know I'm seeing that on Twitter, but you guys are kind of my North Star with Yankees gameplay. Do you feel like it was like that?
Like what? Like the Yankee
closer.
No.
I mean, they were winning the first game until DeJong does that off of Clay Holmes.
Yeah, the first
1-0 game and the
first
second
game was good. Yeah, I told you this like when you were here this weekend, and no one wants to hear me say this because it's the same thing Strider said. But I mean, Rizzo has a quote there that's like, "I would play, but not this time of year. It's not worth it." And they're optioning down their third best reliever, who they use in like the 7th inning, just because they don't want to DFA Abreu, and they're starting Herman, who's not going to be part of the team eventually, and the Yankees are just doing weird shit. But that's not to take anything away from the Cardinals. They were tracking down every ball in the outfield. That was sucked. And that's the biggest difference between the good teams and the bad teams this year is, do they make all the plays and track down balls? Because even the Blue Jays, who are a good team this year, but I still think they're one level below like the good NL teams and the Astros, because Blue Jays defense can be pretty shitty. The Cardinals were good, and I like Jordan Montgomery, and their lineup's hell. If you get someone on with then Arenado and Goldie coming up, it's just not a fun time. So I'm not really feeling it. I'm just more mad at the Yankees themselves for like lollygagging and doing dumb roster construction and kind of admittedly putting the season on pause just because they're prepping. Like Cashman said, all the trades they made for September, and Rizzo would play, but not this time of year. And Ron Marinaccio, well, he's going to be around when it counts, but we have to option him now because we don't want to lose Abreu. And then they use Abreu, and he gives up 2 runs. And it's like, what are we doing? Why am I supposed to care if you're outwardly not caring?
It's an August road trip with a little bit of funny business, with the intention of every day not being, how can we win this game? And by the way, they've built that up a little bit. They played so well, and they built such a big division lead that, hey, if Anthony Rizzo's healthy in October and he's a little more healthier because he didn't play an August game against the Birds in St. Louis, you want that, and that'd be great. I'll give more credit to St. Louis here, man. They added 2 arms at the deadline. Monty's one of them, shoves against his former team. The Paul DeJong stuff is awesome, man. Yeah. They traded away Edmundo Sosa. He goes to the Phillies. DeJong, a veteran player, probably wondering his role on this team. He's injured. He'd kind of been a question mark for the Cardinals in the past. He had an awesome series. The Cardinals, they play a great brand of baseball, good defense. They have the thumpers in the middle of the lineup. DeJong was kind of the backbreaker in a couple of these games. And yeah, I mean, the Yankees lost, Clay Holmes. He's built up enough leash that, he's earned a couple bad ones, and it's tough timing. It's always tough timing for a reliever. But it's kudos to the Cardinals. And by the way, half their lineup was getting ready to be traded for Juan Soto. And instead, they're sitting in front of a packed house, 3 straight packed house in a great baseball city, as the crowd is going nuts as they sweep the Yankees for the first time ever.
It was awesome environment.
Yeah.
Game 3 was pretty sloppy.
Yes.
It was like
beautiful matchup there. Cardinals, Yankees, Brew Crew, losers of 6 of 7 out of the playoff picture right now. What the fuck is going on, dude? What is going on with that team? I am so upset with the Milwaukee Brewers and the lack of moves. I mean, it wasn't even a lack of moves. They like took a step backwards.
Yeah,
at the
man.
trade deadline.
I mean,
and now you're seeing it. It happened so quickly too. This isn't like, hey, like we made some smart moves. And it's like, no, like you didn't. You made a money saving move. And I know that Hader hadn't been great for them this year, but you gotta look at the track record there, see where you're at in the standings, and like, I know they're also trying to make moves, but you didn't make any moves. You didn't get the job done, and now you're sitting out of a playoff spot, and it's just so disappointing.
And by the way,
I'm upset with the Orioles for trading their closer. I just don't know if how you're in the clubhouse, how you're energized. I know they're going to battle through it and they're going to have rallies and they're going to get the guys, but energized. I just have no idea how you're energized when your biggest weapon in the postseason just got traded to another team in your league.
You're not energized.
Who's in the same potential wild card race for you. Like they're competing for a spot.
The Orioles, you can make sense of it. They're the Orioles. They weren't supposed to be here. There's a lot of young energy behind it. Also, Felix Bautista, and they had other guys in that bullpen that they were cashing in on Chip on what's hopefully the next run of Baltimore Orioles, and they can look back and say that helped their next teams that really have a chance. The Brewers one, man, has stung all of us. We love the Brewers. Josh Hader's the bad guy. He's the guy you don't want to see come in. He's the guy that can come on in a playoff game, 7th inning, runners on 2nd and 3rd, and you're like, this guy might bring us home. And they traded that guy away. And yeah, it is instant. The Cardinals, packed house, 2 pitchers, take the division lead, sweep the Yankees, winners of 7 in a row, and the Brewers feel like the ship is sinking. Like they're debating life rafts and jumping off. Are they just going to shovel it out? I don't know. And that's why, Jim, I've heard you say it a couple times. The chaos of this season isn't over. This time last year, the Oakland A's were a playoff team. This time last year, the Braves and St. Louis were not playoff teams. Like, we saw shakeups both ways, and I still think we're in line for that around baseball this year. It's just try to figure out who.
So the rest of August, Milwaukee's schedule, tough. You got the Dodgers twice. You got St. Louis coming up after a short series, a 2-gamer against the Rays. I mean, the rest of the August is very tough. They could be very far out of it come the end of August. September, it lightens up a little bit, their schedule. They got to get through this next portion of August and tread. I mean, treading water, I think, is the best they can do, which is not something I would think I would be saying about the Milwaukee Brewers in August.
And that's a scary way to come to the ballpark, man. We talk about how cool it is for teams when they actually have that win every day attitude, because it's a grind, it's a slog, and there's some days you win a series and it's like, let's get the hell out of Dodge. When you're just trying to tread water in baseball, that's a bad place to be, man. They're just going to need someone to straight up step up. I saw someone in the comments, I think an ep ago, said Yelly, since you talked about him changing his stance. I think he's been like a 300 guy. They're going to need Yelly or Burns, someone to go to the next level that when they're on, they win, and then the rest of the team can tread water until they figure something else out.
You want to keep going on the Orioles talk?
Birds.
James, you say they don't think they're part of it. I kind of have to agree with you. I didn't mind the moves as much as some people did. I didn't want them to trade Mancini, but I figured they are looking at a bigger timeline than this year.
Yeah, I want them to do what the Mariners did last year. I want them to go the distance. The last week of the season is exciting and energized, but I don't see them really catching it. They have a tough schedule ahead.
I think they have the
really
toughest
tough schedule
yeah.
ahead. But the thing is, they've won these games after the deadline to put themselves in this position. So now you're sitting around being like, dude, we could probably use those guys now that we're in this position. It's a catch-22, man. Like, it's probably for the next couple of years that they made the right moves, but also you're still in 2022 and your team responds this way. Now you're thinking back like, shit, was that the right move? And you mentioned their schedule. They got Toronto, Tampa Bay, Toronto, Boston, White Sox, Houston, Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, they traded Toro last year. That was a very similar reaction from the public.
Graveman for Toro, yeah.
Graveman for Toro. And I don't know. They'd probably want Graveman back still.
And they brought in Castillo. Yeah, they were doing funny business. I don't know. It's for the Orioles. It's one of those real GM look in the mirror times, right? That we try to give teams credit for. That their offense is a bottom 10 offense. Their starting pitching is arguably a bottom 5 starting pitching. The wheels can fall off this thing quick. That they probably were real with themselves and they said, this isn't the year. It was never supposed to be the year. That they cashed in on a couple chips. It will feel awful if they end up in Mariner territory and they're going to be looking at Trey Mancini, who you might hear about later, doing things for the Astros, or Jorge Lopez winning the World Series with the Twins.
Yes. Another Twins connection real quick before we move on. My guy, Terrin Vavra. Okay, you all know Joe. His dad was my minor league coordinator. Then he was my hitting coach. Santander, they're freaking moving around to open up a spot for my guy, Vavra. They also say they want to increase his trade value during the offseason, so that makes sense, getting him more defensive versatility. But Vavra's earned a spot, and that's exciting for me because I've seen this guy as a little kid. And now he's up in the big leagues, and I feel a little old, but I'm also very proud. It's cool.
It's life.
He's crushing AAA.
How about Franmil Reyes getting DFA'd?
Tough, man. You know how much I like him. I hope he lands in the right spot with the right coach, and he hits 15 more homers this year.
You see, he had options left, so it was like
he's too old for Cleveland, man. He's 27.
I mean, yeah, you don't know for sure. It seems very much like a get out of here.
On 3, thumbs up, thumbs down. Brett Phillips in an Oriole uniform. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
How about it?
I thought he looked good.
How about it?
I like the Orioles uniforms. No?
Let's see. I don't dislike them at all. Some guys, I feel like there's some guys wear them really well. I'm trying to think. Do they have an alternate that I really like, or an old school jersey?
I picture Cal
when
Ripken.
they wore the white helmets.
Yes, the white helmets I like a lot.
I picture Cal Ripken in that Orioles jersey, and I like that one a lot. I feel like that's a different variation from where we are today.
Orioles uniforms through the years.
They're pretty
Images.
classic.
Yeah.
The birds changed a little bit. The classic O is great.
How about Cal Ripken on the cover of GQ in '85? He probably had a couple nice nights, huh?
Okay.
Maybe a couple bad ones, too. Isn't that the whole story?
Well, that was in 85.
Right, but I guess we all have good and bad nights is the message I want to pass on.
I like the old 60s, like Roger Maris sleeves. I'm looking at those now.
I just talked about Roger Maris earlier today. Barry
Why?
Bonds.
Why'd you do it?
Chris Rose asked me, what do I think about, that we don't really celebrate the day that Bonds broke the home run record? It was like this last week was the 15th anniversary of it. He says, we always talk about Hank Aaron. And that day, when that day comes, we promote the crap out of Hank Aaron breaking the all-time record. We don't really talk about Bonds. He says, is that fair? And we just started talking about.
I don't even know Bonds records.
Also,
756, you said? I had to ask what
they've taken it out of our memory.
I had to take
MLB.
I had to take
has taken that out.
Yeah, I had to ask the single season record the other day. I was like, what was it again? 70 what? Yeah. It rings a bell when you say it.
You
but
knew it was
like
70-something.
Yeah, I knew it was 70 something, but yeah. I didn't 76. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Now I'm on Bonds' stat page.
It's hey, if you want to just have some fun on a baseball reference page, go to
It's
Barry
one of the
Bonds
cooler
baseball reference.
It's one of the cooler website pages on the internet.
Oh my God. Nope.
It's awesome.
Nope.
Let's go to Standout Performances.
Standout Performances.
BBD robot me real quick.
Ooh. And how about robots you can gamble with? DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. It's kind of what we've been talking about this whole episode, people. Just $5 on any game, and you get $100 in free bets instantly. DraftKings has their same-game parlays. Rack on a couple Betterooskies, and if they all win, you win more money. That's pretty nice. And it's nice that DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. So why don't you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOHNBOY. New customers can make any $5 bet and get $100 in free bets instantly. That's promo code JOHNBOY only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. MLB trademarks used with permission.
Standout Performances.
Standout Performance.
I wanted to find a guy from one of the teams that didn't get a lot of coverage today, but I couldn't not talk about what deGrom did in his game against the Braves. It's 5.2 innings pitched, only one hit. I think they're still easing him into the higher pitch count. There's 70-something pitches. He was perfect through whatever. His first 5 innings, he got 16 swings on his slider, 16 swings and misses. That's unbelievable. He finished his outing with 18 whiffs out of the 20 swings he generated on his slider. He threw 33 sliders. They didn't put a single one in play. So the 2 non-whiffs were foul balls. He had 2 for called strikes, a 90% whiff rate on his slider against the Braves in that outing. If you are in the 40s, I would read that and be like, 40% whiff rate that's pretty good. 90%. That's unbelievable. Crazy. That's my standout performance. deGrom's slider.
C. Rose and I were on the plane yesterday, and we were just like giggling back and forth because we had a strikeout of deGrom's up where he took a 96-mile-an-hour slider. And I was like, Rosie, you can't hit that. No one on the face of this world can hit that pitch that he threw. He's disgusting. I didn't expect him to look this damn good. I just didn't. I knew obviously we know who Jacob deGrom is, but for him to come back and throw 301-mile-an-hour fastballs by Olsen and then just throwing his slider that hard, and it looks fucking effortless too. I don't get it. I just don't. It defies all like things that my brain has, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Fucking Jacob deGrom.
deGrom, also, when we were doing the Phillies and the Cardinals and Brewers, we didn't really do the Phillies stuff, so I'll just share with everyone my notes. Everyone hit a home run. Hall hit a bomb. Castellanos hit an absolute bomb. He's going off. D-Rob had 2 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. Brandon Marsh playing the outfield. He had 3 for 10 with a run, kind of in slop fest at the end. And then check out this stat. You guys are going to love this. JT Realmuto. This is what the stat said. It said he's the first Phillies catcher to homer and triple in back-to-back games since at least 1901, which means ever, and also that's pretty refined. If it was first NL catcher or first catcher, but Phillies catcher, it's like we're digging deep here.
I think it meant he was the first catcher in baseball, but also the first Philly.
It just said first Philly catcher to homer and triple in back-to-back games since at least 1901.
Okay. I was going to talk about the Phillies a little bit.
Okay, great.
Have a standout from the Phillies.
All right, I like that.
But it's not my turn.
And I think Brad Hand got in there as well. Sorry for skipping all that earlier. We said we would talk about it with the Brew Crew stuff. Jake, your standout?
Who? All right. I am doing a guy pretty well liked. I am doing a guy named Trey Mancini on the Houston Astros. They traded for Trey Mancini, one of the more beloved guys in baseball. They hired Dusty Baker to be their manager, one of the more beloved guys in baseball. How about that? And by the way, he's come over. He's only got 4 hits. 3 of them are homers, and 2 of them came in the same game. And one of those homers was a grand slam, and it was Trey Mancini's first grand slam.
Really?
Yep. He did not have one with the Baltimore Orioles. He goes over to the Astros, and in his first week, he gets a salami into the Crawford boxes, a ball that would not have been a home run at Camden Yards. So, Trey Mancini, he is a professional hitter. It's kind of funny. Jim, you were on it early when we used to do Talkin' Yanks and Talkin' Baseball. In 2018, it felt like he was the veteran of the team, like already.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He was
I remember
26,
interviews.
and yeah, like he was the leader of the team after one full season, basically. This guy is a professional hitter. He's got a career OPS right around 800, and this is a guy the Astros just snagged. Another guy to throw in their lineup. And I think we were all sad that the Orioles traded Trey Mancini. I think he was a little sad. I think when he's playing October baseball, he's going to be pretty stoked. And I think he might like those Crawford boxes too. So congrats on the first salami. Congrats on a 2-homer day.
Trey Mancini. He looks good in that.
How many grand
He's
slams
always
did
had
you have?
orange on, that's why.
Trev, how many grand slams? Jake says you had
2.
2. Nice.
Sonny Gray and I don't have the other one.
John Danks, lefty for the White Sox.
Danks.
Sonny Gray was a lucky one, man. He hung me a slider 3-2. I don't know why he was throwing a slider to me 3-2. Respect. That's why.
That's why.
That's why.
That is why. And you knew he respected you.
My standout performance, because I was going to talk about the Phillies. I know we didn't talk about him at all. Okay. Kyle Gibson. 8 innings pitched, 1 earned, 4 Ks, 2 hits, 1 walk. He took a perfect game into the 7th. I like the quotes after the game. Like when the catcher starts to talk about you and kind of waxes poetically about the pitcher. I really like that. Okay. Especially when it's my friend Kyle. Kyle was fun. He was a lot of fun to catch. He was throwing 5-6 pitches to both sides of the plates. He was attacking guys, getting ahead of guys. That was the sharpest I've seen his stuff this year. It was the best I've seen it. Okay. This is when you want to be your best. Towards the end of the year here, Kyle's feeling a little bit of pressure. He wants to be in that postseason rotation. So like he's got to step it up now. I like that he talked about knowing that he had a perfect game very early. He says, I don't know how guys don't think about it that early, which is very much a Gibby thing to say.
I love that.
Because once you make it the first time through the order and you're in the 4th inning, you haven't had a base runner, you're thinking about it. I love the just straight up honesty with Kyle, and that's what you get from him. But again, like they brought in some guys in that rotation, Syndergaard, who like does that bump Kyle out of the rotation in the postseason? I don't know. But Kyle doesn't want that to happen. Nice start here. Love the Phillies, what they've been doing. I'm glad you talked about him, James. Now I don't have to, but shout out Kyle. Shout out JT Realmuto. They're working well together.
Hoskins homered in 4 straight games, and Alec Baum had to play behind him in the 6th inning. And you know, if Gibby's thinking about a perfect game after 4, he's thinking right after, oh shit, that's the play.
That's the
play.
I was gonna say that's the play.
And it was a nice play by Alec Baum. So the Phillies are fun. It's a fun series. It is the Nats.
Harper.
So this is 4 game set against the Nats. So like 4-game sweeps are hard, but they like crushed them.
Let's go, Harper. We need you in that lineup.
Yeah.
Replace your thumb.
BBD's guy Derek Hall in the DH spot has been going nut job.
Yeah, he had 3 homers, I think.
So he's being Harper.
Patrick Corbin, do you guys see his start?
He was bad.
I feel bad for him. But obviously I don't because he's making a lot of money too.
Okay. Fair.
Okay.
What did I just say? I feel bad for you, but obviously I don't. That's something else.
Obviously you don't. Obviously you
Curious
don't.
where
TV,
Derek Hall
people.
lands when Harper comes back. He's been hitting all year.
Derek Hall.
Put him at short.
Dallas Baptist guy.
Yeah.
What do we got? Slump Watch?
Yes.
Bwomp, 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 bwomp. Tim Anderson, 0 for 13. Cronenworth, 0 for 11. I'm guessing a lot of the Padres had some bad series. Yandy Diaz, 0 for 11. 4 walks, though. Way to be, Yandy. Marcelo Zuna against those Mets pitchers, 1 for 16, 5 Ks. Yuli Gurriel, 1 for 14 with RBI and 2 strikeouts. Those guys be slumping. But not these guys.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Just talked about this guy. Rhys Hoskins, 4 games in a row with a homer.
Yes.
5 for 11 with 4 homers, 6 RBIs, 3 walks, and hit by pitch for fun. Jake, you mentioned this guy. MJ Melendez.
Oh.
What do you think the MJ stands for?
The kid can hit. Michael Jordan.
That's cool. 6 for 14, 3 homers.
For
10
him or just in like culture?
Is that really what it stands for?
No. His name's Maraville S. Melendez.
So where's the J come from?
I ask you, maybe a junior?
Junior.
Nah, it doesn't say junior. I don't
His
know.
father's also named Maraville Melendez. I don't know if he's officially a junior.
Where's he from?
Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. What's the first name?
Maraville.
Maryville.
Mervyl.
I can understand how
through the ringer
MJ
there.
happened.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he's like, let's just do MJ.
Yeah.
Derek Hall, talked about him. 5 for 10, 3 homers. JT Realmuto, 5 for 11, 2 homers, 2 triples.
Yeah.
Catcher with speed. Cody Bellinger, although some people say Bellinger.
No.
Yeah. One of our friends says it, and then I heard it.
Oh, okay.
I heard it on a broadcast. And I was like,
It makes
what?
sense.
5 for 10, 2 home runs, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs. Jake's guy, Dalton Varsho, 4 for 9 with 2 bombs, a double, 3 walks. Kyle Isbell, Royals, beating up on the Sox.
Yeah.
5 for 9 with a homer, 2 triples. Was it the week of the triple? The weekend of the triple? And then this guy, how do you say his name? Ella Harris? I don't know who this is. Who's this? Who's Ellie Harris Montero?
Jake's Rocks.
Ooh, yeah, not on my radar right now. 6 for 11, home run, and Nolan Arenado. Wow, he went 6 for 11 against the Yanks. I mean, I knew he was beating them. That's pretty good.
They were traded for each other.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Ella Harris, Merville.
Elauris, according to
Say it again.
Elauris.
Elauris.
That's what it says on Baseball Reference.
Oh,
There she is.
Trev, you got a good award here. I'm skipping to you. Yours sounds
You want
interesting.
to go me first?
Yeah.
My award is called the Corn in Your Chili
Huh.
Award. Now I'm going to straight up ask you guys, are you fans of chili?
Yes. Jake doesn't like hot things that
A
much.
true chili. It can't be too soupy. I don't like soup.
You're a thick chili guy. James, you probably like all chilies. You're like me, a man's man. We like all chilies.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, if it's not soupy, it better have some stuff in it. It can't just man, where is it? Somewhere that I lived. I think it's Texas chili. It's just like dog food meat. Like it looks similar. They're like, no,
Yeah, they don't do beans.
They don't do
I think. I don't
beans.
know.
It's
Texas
just-
has all these rules about chili. Guess
Well,
what? People? Let me tell you.
I think those people are the most prideful of their chili, but I'm not into it when it just looks like straight up hamburger meat with a seasoning on it, like sloppy Joe. I like it with stuff in it, beans and other shit.
Let me tell you, you can do whatever you want with your chili. That chili is, you can do whatever you want. Put whatever you want in your chili, okay? Sometimes I put corn in my chili. If I'm feeling up for it, little, canned corn, put it in there, give it a little sweet pop to it. I like it.
Yeah, do you, Trev?
Why is my award called corn in your chili award?
We'll find out soon.
We're going back to the cornfields, people. Thursday, we're getting the Cubs, Reds back at the Field of Dreams area. I don't know what you call that. Cornfield, basically. I haven't seen it promoted a lot. I know they have been promoting it, but that was one of the more fun games in the big leagues last year. And I've seen the jerseys that they've dropped. Cubs, Reds, like I said. I wish we had a screenshot of them. If you can find them, BBD, that'd be great. These are the best uniforms I've seen. We've been putting out these City Connect uniforms. Most of them, not a fan of whatsoever. These Field of Dreams unis are unreal. The Reds pinstripes, I guess they're going back to like a 1919 version of the Reds logo. The hats are also white with red pinstripes on them, or is it black? I can't see. I'm colorblind a little bit. I love this game. I love the matchups of the teams, not great, but I think that's fine because we're going to get the added, fanfare because of where they're playing. I'm going to be tuned into this game, and I want everyone to tune into this game. So I thought it was great last year, and I'm predicting it'll be the same. There they are. Nice. Look at those Reds jerseys, bro.
Like
and
that.
the hat.
Who are
and
the
Cubs?
Who are the starters for that game? Do we know yet?
Love that. We can check.
See if we can get there.
Anyways, we're playing ball in a cornfield. It's going to be a lot of fun. I wish they'd do more stuff like this. I've been asking for that for quite some time. Tune in Thursday. Field of Dreams game.
Tune in.
Says Nick Lodolo versus Drew Smiley currently.
Nick Lodolo.
We're going to hope for some magic from, the essence of playing there, I think. Joey Votto hits a home run, mark it down.
Yeah.
Mark it down. Yeah. Yeah.
You're third place in the NL Central Reds, by the way, not getting the love.
I got someone tweeting at me if you want to do a little Reds talk. Let me get it out for you. They started out, 3-22, I think, right?
Yeah.
I got to get this tweet up, man. This guy sent it to me. I showed it to Rosie yesterday.
They've got a better record than a lot of good teams in the last 3 months.
They're 500. They're basically a 41-41 over the last however many months that is. So give the Reds a little bit of credit.
Let's go Reds. Reds up.
Jake, do you have an award?
Red form.
I can give a Reds award.
Is that your award?
Well, it's a very natural tie-in because they're playing on a farm.
Okay.
And Drew Smiley's a lefty pitcher. And Kyle Farmer crushes lefties.
Okay.
Stats on the season, not good. But he's got a 961 OPS versus lefties this year with a 316 average, 400 on base. Now, I don't know about neutral sites because I think it's going to be more of a home game for the Cubbies. But at home against lefties, he's the biggest masher.
Okay.
Like a 400 average. So Kyle Farmer
On a farm
versus a lefty starter. Open up the DraftKings app, use code JOHNBOY, and just take the over on whatever his total basis is.
Enjoy the money.
He's
Ian
crushing it.
Happ and those cream Cubbies unis.
He's probably going to be mic'd up and stuff. It's probably going to be the
Speaking
Ian
of
Happ
cream.
show.
Oh, well, there's a little bit of you, and you thought you could get traded. You were like, oh, you going to miss out on this little Dreams game? That's a question I'll ask.
Are we sending Joe's to the Field of Dreams game? Because that would have been just electric. Just walking through cornfields in his jean shorts.
We're telling him we are, and we're sending him out to a cornfield in Long Island
Oh, okay.
with a ball and a bat. Telling him to play and film it.
Wow, I never been to Iowa.
Nice out here.
Yeah.
You'd have a good time.
Fly him around, land. Bring him out there.
So is that your award?
Yeah, Beware of the Farm award.
Beware of the farm. Man, you guys going full preview.
I was going to do like Skyline Chili because Cincinnati and all that stuff. Couldn't really find a way to get it in. I love Skyline Chili. It's basically spaghetti. I don't know why they
Really?
call it chili.
I haven't had it. Everyone says it's gross. It seems like a really Jake layup, but I can't tell how
Seems
full
like just
gross
like
it
a.
is.
It seems like just like something we would have made in college.
Seems
drunk.
like chili on top of spaghetti.
It's what it is. Exactly what it is.
Yeah, I don't know how that could be like bad. I think it could be odd.
I mean,
people talk about
if you
it like
have bad chili and bad pasta, that's a bad combo.
It's not.
It's good.
I don't think there's bad
I'm
chili
telling
or
you
bad
guys.
pasta out there.
There's bad. You were just describing bad chili earlier.
Yeah, but if you put that on pasta, that's good chili now because it spreads it out.
Hey,
I'd still eat that chili that I was talking about. I would not turn it down.
sure.
But
I'm
I'm
gonna make
not.
you guys chili one day.
Katie likes the chili I make. I make good chili and tortilla soup. I put corn in that, Trev.
Yeah, I think that's good. It's good.
So what's your Reds Field of Dreams award?
I can audible. I can find something there. I know India's got the hair. Wilson
Indiana.
Contreras was happy to be back on the Cubs as well. Mine actually is related to the Cubs.
Okay.
My award is the Use Kids Don't Even Know award.
Nikki Cass?
You guys know if I hang around Nikki, my Italian comes out just a little bit more. I told you guys at the top of the episode, I said this is going to be a big Dodgers episode. It deserved to be. They swept the Padres. They have the best record in baseball easily. Tyler Anderson is pitching, is a top 10 Cy Young guy. Andrew Heendog is mowing people down. Andrew Heaney, who got laughed out of New York harder than Joey Gallo. Andrew Heaney, 6 starts, a 0.64 ERA.
The Heen Dog.
As good as you can do. So I said I need to give the Dodgers love. And I don't know if this is the right guy, but maybe it can be a historic thing for some of the kids too. My Use Kids Don't Even Know award goes to Mark Pryor, former Cubs stud, who is the Dodgers pitching coach. He has been the Dodgers pitching coach. And Trev, you're right. I don't know where the line molds. I know every team has their pitching analysis coordinator and they have their assistant pitching coach. He's been their pitching coach for a while. Has he had some names to work with? Yes. Has he also made guys' names? Yes. And if Use Kids Don't Even Know, go check out some Mark Pryor tape. Because in 2003, he was 23 years old, lighting up the league. He finished his last 11 starts with a 1.52 ERA. In 2004, he came back and he led all starting pitchers in K per 9. The dude was as electric as a pitcher as you'll see on a baseball field. He was riddled with injuries like that, and it kind of ended. So, hey, maybe this guy knows how to pitch. Maybe this guy knows how to pitch, and he's passing that information along with the analytics and everything else. But, man, you got to give someone credit for these Dodgers pitching and what they're able to do. And Mark Pryor, man, he deserves a chunk of it. I have no idea how much. Quite the ball player.
We talk about this, dude. You have the data. How do you bring it to your players? How do you help them understand it? Sam Fold was like one of the first guys to do that in Philly. Pryor, not in the same role, and also not a Stanford guy. Unfortunately, he was just a regular old USC Trojan, which is fine. Fine school, not a Stanford like you and I, Jake. Yeah. But smart. And I've heard a lot of Dodgers pitchers talk about that, like how much he has helped them, how much he's helped them, interpret that information and take it onto the field. So I think it's nice of you to mention him right there. And dude, absolutely electric.
How many times do you think he says, you know what I would have done if I had this info?
Yeah.
That's how good you can be. And then hands them
Mark Pryor was Steven Strasburg before Steven Strasburg, as far as like hype and mechanics, and like he was the prototypical pitcher build.
Yeah.
Then he got hurt a lot.
Well, it hurts to throw a ball so often.
Didn't pitch from 06 to 2010 when he pitched in AAA and independent ball, and then he still fought in the minors a little bit. So that always hits a chord with me when you're still trying to fight the fight. And now he's found a second life as, by the way, very hot guy, 41 years old, stud pitching coach for the Dodgers. Not bad.
USC hires him as their pitching coach, gives him $700,000.
He also has some Vanderbilt ties, so in a way
What's
I am
his ties? He
connected to
visited
him.
there? visited there, dated Jess?
I think he transferred. He didn't.
Oh.
I don't think he dated. Like 10 years apart.
Okay.
Now Festus Ezeli, the old Golden State center.
Dated Jess.
I don't know.
Name someone you've
They were in
dated.
school together.
Name someone you've dated that's 10 feet taller than
They're
you.
Facebook friends.
Tallest person you ever dated.
Ever dated?
Jordan Peck.
He's a nice guy. I know. He's a nice guy. Good ball player. Pitcher.
He pitched?
Yeah. 6'8".
Just too tall. It's ridiculous. Best friend of the week?
Best friend of the week. Some good candidates today. Some good candidates from the Phillies today, but it is going to Rhys Hoskins. 5 for 11, 4 of the 5 hits homers, 4 consecutive games, 6 ribbies, 3 walks, and a hit by pitch.
How many of them, I guess you don't have to look it up, were first inning? I know at least one was the first inning. Because that's a fun way to start a game.
Shout out Tristan McKenzie.
Rhys has been going for a little while.
I thought Tristan McKenzie was going to get best friend of the week because he went 8 innings pitched, 0 and runs, 8 Ks. He's
never been on the show.
giving Guardians.
He's never been on
best.
Talking Baseball.
He came on Sequence.
Yeah, but that's best friend of the Sequence Award.
We don't have. I mean, we got a really small pool to draw from. Now.
Yeah,
We don't do
and
interviews.
it's not growing.
It's not growing.
Tristan McKenzie's a friend. We hung out at our house for like
really
5
like
hours.
He's a friend of the pod.
Yeah.
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 Has
Okay.
Ian Hatt been on our show? God, he's gonna hate me.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Shit. I love Ian. I know it seems like I don't, but I do.
3 first inning homers according to the chat. I thought it was more than one.
And Happ has gotten this award 3 times this year.
Would it be Hap?
Be happer.
Like
Enjoy the-
Walker
enjoy the
Buehler
corn.
doesn't like us or even know who we are, but Tristan McKenzie likes us and knows who we are. But yet somehow Walker.
I was looking at grounded into double play rate the other day. And Jazz Chisholm, he was one of the ones that had the most opportunities to ground into double play and never had 0. So good job by him.
Fast lefty.
Yeah, fast lefty. It's like 65 plate appearances with a force out and less than 2 outs. And there was someone better than him, I think, but I don't remember. So just shout out to Jazz. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
Elevator talk to take us home. Spin the wheel, spin the wheel. Let's all play a game of spin the wheel.
Can't wait. I'm going to guess the Texas Rangers.
It's the Mets. Should I spin again?
Spin again.
We got a lot of chatter. It's the Yankees. Should I spin again? Yes.
Yes, please, for the love of God.
It's the Royals. Isbell was hot. They beat the Red Sox.
MJ Melendez, people.
That's a pitching coach I've seen they want fired on the streets. I don't know if he's going to get fired. Or they did fire him, I think.
Okay.
Nick Prado had the walk-off homer. They showed the picture of him in the Little League World Series, and now him in the big leagues. He looks like the same person. He's got a very evil, happy look.
A little bit. I see what you're saying there.
Vinny
Huntington Beach,
Pasquantino.
California.
Did you hear the Greinke story about Whit Merrifield?
Mm-mm.
When he got traded, Greinke, I guess, handed him a note of all his expected numbers versus his numbers and said, don't worry, you're much better than you have been, or keep your head up, you're much better than you have been. And they were like, it's actually a very nice thing that Greinke did, even though it comes off a little odd, because usually he's pretty blunt and brutal with his teammates. So it was a nice parting gift from Greinke to Whit. Ask Whit about it, Trev. That was a story they told.
I'm going to ask. Oh, Greinke, you just never know where his head's at, huh?
Yeah.
He's a
You
Jake
could have
type.
any motivation.
How many home runs does Salvador Perez have?
Off the top of my head,
16.
16. In 67 games.
48 homers last year, 121 ribbies.
Bobby Witt's back.